What are we? I'm sorry
time
for
for a
the
new computer.
technical difficulties there. Welcome in, guys. It's the Outspoken Network here with your hosts, Brian and Craig. Craig, brother man, how's it going?
Howdy.
We got week 2 of the NFL going on this week. Episode 217. We're going to predict the games for this week and week 2. We talk a little bit about week 1 and what happened, I guess, a little bit here, and maybe talk a little college football as well as there's not been really any big dogs versus big dogs today, but there's been some interesting games. But what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about college first, Craig?
Yeah, that's fine.
Right now, for the Florida Gators, who are unranked, are beating the Tennessee Volunteers 26-10. This is in Florida. Crazy things happen there in Florida.
In the swamp.
In the swamp. Arkansas is beating BYU by 3 at halftime, 24-21. Ole Miss is barely beating Georgia Tech at 10-3, and Georgia Tech is unranked, and Ole Miss is number 17, so that'd be a big letdown. Texas is barely beating Wyoming by 3 in the second. It's 10-7. Texas moved up in the rankings to number 4 after beating Alabama last weekend. That was a really good game. And then, when it comes to Texas, they win a big game and they're like, we're back. And then they have a letdown. Like, guys, you're not back until we see you do it consistently. Let's have a good season. This is only week 3 for college football. So you beat Alabama. That was fantastic. But you cannot have a letdown. You cannot lose to Wyoming tonight and think you're back. So that's my biggest thing with them is we're back. And then they end up having a letdown. I'm like, no, you're not. You had a good game, and that was about it. But you got some other games like Alabama looked like crap today. I mean, that was terrible football. They won.
I thought they were playing right now.
No, they played earlier today. Who did they play? I'm looking for them right now. They barely beat them.
It was 17-3. I thought it was ongoing since that was.
No, that was the final.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They didn't look good. Their defense held a minute. They started their new quarterback. He transferred over from Notre Dame over the offseason. And they
South Florida.
Yeah, South Florida. Or is hanging in there with Alabama. That's how bad.
Probably why you lose to Texas.
It's probably why you lose to Texas. You had, where are the other ones? I'm trying to find the games from earlier. Texas Tech murdering Tarleton State 34-0.
Yeah, Oregon's up 31-0 on Hawaii. That's going to be Oregon and Colorado next week. I believe it's in Oregon. So Colorado's going to have to play Oregon and USC back to back. Let's see how Coach Prime does in that.
I think the real matchup's going to be the Oregon next week. They're about to beat the brakes off of
Colorado State. Yeah.
TCU up 13-3 in the second quarter. Jackson State are losing 6-21 to Texas State. Not any big dogs. Georgia struggled today against South Carolina. They do get the 10-point win. And Florida State almost loses to Boston College.
It's a big rivalry, though. Boston College normally plays them pretty tough, so and it's not really a surprise.
It was. It would have been a big loss for Florida, though.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like Tennessee, that's gonna, even though it's an SEC game, that's gonna be a really tough loss to an unranked Florida team.
Upset of the day, unranked Missouri takes down the number 15 Kansas State 30-27 with a last second field goal. Oklahoma takes care of business. So it's interesting to see North Carolina football team in the top 25.
Yeah. Last couple of years.
And Duke.
Yeah. Well, Duke. Who did Duke beat opening? Clemson? Did they beat Clemson opening night?
Yeah,
they beat them bad.
Yeah, they beat them like 24-9 or something like that.
Yeah.
Carolina's 20th and Duke is 21 ranked. So I'm looking forward to that beatdown of the Colorado because he took it personal. I don't know why coaches want to come out here and give Coach Prime some more ammo.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why they do that. Just shut your mouth.
He
Show
bought him
up.
sunglasses because
Yeah.
the coach from Colorado State said he wouldn't do interviews in sunglasses and hats, and so
Yeah. He said my mama raised me to when I'm talking to another adult to take off my sunglasses and hat.
yeah,
And I'm like, what?
yeah,
Oh my! I don't know why people don't learn. I mean,
no.
people don't learn. But that's your college football update. Let's get into the NFL. Craig, what are some takeaways from week one? You have any takeaways from week one?
Um, I thought the Miami and Charger game was everything that it was supposed to be. Two really good teams going at it till the very end. And Herbert kind of makes a bad decision at the end and has an intentional grounding that really put the brakes on that final drive.
Here's the kicker for that game, Craig, and a lot of people don't remember this. Right before half, there was a tie ball game. They throw a Hail Mary up.
Oh
The
yeah, and that guy
Miami
passed
throws a Hail
interference.
Mary up. They get a pass interference.
You
They
get a
kick the
field goal.
field goal. They win by 2. You take away that field goal, Chargers win by 1. That's huge mistake.
Yeah,
Costly right
yeah.
there.
Yeah. And I mean Miami misses the extra point, which could have cost them if Herbert's able to get them down in field goal range. Luckily, they were able to dial up a defense. Tua looked really good. Tyreek Hill looked amazing. He had over 200 yards.
Yeah.
But Miami's running game not exactly great.
No, they did not run the ball very
They
much.
didn't run the
And
ball very well, and San Diego did run the ball really well.
yeah.
So Miami's defense looks like it might suffer a little bit
And
with
look at
some of those losses.
that game plan Kellen Moore did. And I like what he
Well,
did.
that's
You know,
Kellen
they
Moore. That's
yeah.
Kellen
And
Moore. He did it in Dallas.
but
That's working really well. Let's not use it. That was
I
the
think
complaint as a Cowboy fan. That's working really well. We're running the ball really well. We're throwing the ball really well. Oh, got to stop that. We can't. Oh, take that and put it over
well, I
here.
think in this game, and we look at the carries and how much they ran the ball, you took some pressure off Herbert. There's so
And you
much
were
pressure on
gashing
Herbert
the
to
defense. You
perform.
were putting him in manageable situations,
Yeah.
third and manageable, second and manageable, because you were running the ball so well. And in the second half, you just stopped.
Yeah. Well,
Herbert just threw the ball.
there's so much pressure on Herbert that
I
that
get that,
strong run game is going to help him out.
but I get that. But how do you take pressure off of him? Don't put it all on him.
Yeah,
And
you
I
run the
thought the
ball.
game plan in the second half was terrible. The play
Well,
calling, I thought Kellen Moore was exactly Kellen Moore. I was glad to see that happened for somebody else other than Dallas, because that's been a complaint for the Dallas
I
offense
didn't see the
forever.
second half. I didn't get to watch that whole game,
Yeah,
but
they just stopped. They just stopped doing what worked, and that's how Miami was able to come back a little bit. They were down at one point.
they had 2 rushers that both had 16 carries. One had 117 yards. The other one had 91. They had 2 rushers almost break 100 yards this game.
Yeah,
Um,
and didn't use the second half near as much.
I don't know. I wish I could find second half stats on how many handoffs they had. But anyways, let's do real quick our biggest winner and biggest loser for week one. Biggest loser for me is the Bengals. They didn't show up. I don't know what that was. They allowed the Browns defense to look like the 86 Bears, and they got to Burrow left and right. They made him uncomfortable. He threw for 86 yards. That is absolute garbage. This is one though. I'm not worried if I'm a Bengals fan. I think you take this, you wad it up in the trash, and you move on next week. I don't think it'll continue to happen. The Browns defense may be something. Deshaun Watson only threw for 154 yards. It's not like on the offensive side of the ball they were killing it. So this was a weird game from the Bengals to open up the season. Who's
Yeah,
your
I
biggest
think.
loser?
No, I mean I kind of have to agree because I mean I think this is Burrow not getting any time in the preseason and being cautious with a calf that I don't think is 100% yet.
Yeah.
And you see what happened to
Running for his
Rodgers.
life back there.
And that offensive line, if you remember, he had this a couple years ago on opening week. He threw for 4 picks, and the offensive line was a turnstile. And then all of a sudden, they fixed the offensive line halfway through the year and gave Burrow some time, and they went on the run to almost the Super Bowl. So, um, I think the head coach gets it fixed. They weirdly released Lyle Collins the other day.
He didn't pass a physical or something.
Something about he was on the pup list, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden they release him. That's when you're having offensive line difficulties, and you release a guy who was a Pro Bowler at one time. That's confusing to me. But anyhow,
Good thing Cowboys didn't sign him up
yeah,
the
yeah.
long-term contract.
So,
It's funny because we could say the Jets are probably the biggest loser since they lost Aaron Rodgers.
I was gonna say that.
That could be, even though they won the game,
Yeah.
that they lost
They
their
lost their
only hope of
quarterback,
a good
and
season.
he had an interview today that was kind of crazy. And I don't know, maybe this is just Rogers talking in Rogerisms, but he was on with McAfee, and they're buddies. And
Yeah.
McAfee said,
McAfee's awesome. I love McAfee.
you hear all the guys, you hear all the people talking. Please tell me that this isn't your end. Please tell me this isn't how you're going to ride off into the sunset. And Rogers goes, I just need that doubt. I just need. I want. He goes, if you hear somebody say it, I want you to tell me. He goes, because that's what drives me. And they said he made it sound like they go, well, you're talking about coming back.
He's
What's the
coming back.
timetable? What's the timetable? And he danced around it, and they were like, well, are you saying you're going to come back for the playoffs this year? He goes, and he goes, I'm not saying anything, but as Kevin Durant said, anything's possible. And they all went nuts, and I'm going, man, stop it. I was like,
Yeah.
there's no way.
There's no way.
I don't remember Kobe's timetable, but that was faster than anybody. And basically, he referred to it. He said that on the table, on the operating table, I was looking up how Kobe, did the recovery and this and that and the other. And
what's ironic with this whole thing is the doctor who does his surgery, the doctor who worked on
the same guy,
Richard
the
Sherman.
Oh,
it's the guy that did Richard Sherman's, and guess where he is? He's in Green Bay. So Aaron Rodgers has to fly back to Green Bay to get this surgery.
Yeah,
it's pretty ironic, but no, it's terrible to see. Look, when he went down, I admit it, I laughed. I wasn't laughing at his injury. I was just laughing at all the buildup, all the momentum, all this big excitement for the Jets fans to be let down in 4 downs. And then when it came out how serious it was, then it became like, oh man, this is really sucks. And it really sucks for football. I was excited to see Aaron Rodgers this season, see what he was going to do, see if he had anything left in the tank. And he seemed to be rejuvenated. I think he does come back. He's a stubborn dude. He's going to come back. I just don't know how good he's going to be when he comes back at his age, how long the recovery is. There's a lot of questions that go into it, but the Jets obviously are there, and he'll have his spot back when he wants to come back. There's no way. And even when he did it, I go, this could be career ending, but me watching Aaron Rodgers, I'm like, this is not how.
Unless he has a huge setback in rehab,
yeah,
I think he comes back and gives the Jets fans, 1 year. It's not going to be a long time, but he'll give them 1 season. I think the biggest winner for me is the Detroit Lions. You go into Kansas City and in a hostile environment on championship night when they hang a banner and beat the defending champions. And so I think that's a statement that could be a team that is ready to make a big step this year.
Yeah, you took my team from me too. The Lions are definitely the biggest winner from week 1. They, like you said, and they went into a hostile environment and won. And what frustrated me at the end of this game is everyone wanted to talk about the Chiefs' mistakes. The Chiefs did this. If the Chiefs had this, if the Chiefs, if, let's talk about the Lions. All right. The Lions played a great game. The Lions played tough defense. They got after Mahomes. The Lions frustrated him. The Lions were able to not turn over the football. Jared Goff played a decent game, and when they needed to, the defense got stopped. The Lions were able to get the momentum and score, and they ended up winning the game. And kudos to them going into one of the most hostile places to play and beating them on a banner night and saying, "Hey guys, the Lions have arrived, and let's start taking a little bit more seriously," is the biggest winner for Week 1, in my opinion as well. And I think you could agree with this, especially in the NFC. The three teams in the NFC to beat are the Niners, the Cowboys, and the Eagles. Those are your three best teams in the NFC right now.
Eagles have looked. Their defense has not. Their offense has looked okay, but their defense has not looked great.
Yeah.
In either week.
Well, what's weird with them, and people are like, "Oh, they were up 16 points to the Patriots," and they did that last year. They would score early and quick.
Yeah.
And then they would hold
They
on to
blow out
lead
the
it.
first half, and then
Yeah.
the offense would stop in the second half.
Yeah, and maybe that's going to be a problem for them down the road. But
it is if you get a better team. I mean, Minnesota has looked absolutely terrible the first 2 weeks. Kirk Cousins already has like 10 picks already. Way to take the heat
he'll
off
throw
that.
for 300 something yards, but then they'll lose, and it's weird. All right, let's get into week 2. Craig beat me this last week in picks. Terrible last week for me in picks. So let's hope that that doesn't continue. All right, let's go down the list here and tell us who we got. You got the Packers going to the Falcons. I'm glad that game is on TV for me to watch here. Well, first of all, you had the Eagles Vikings on Thursday. I picked the Eagles to win that game.
Yeah,
I believe you did too.
Yeah,
so
it's
winner, chicken dinner.
It got closer than I thought it would be. I really thought it would have been a blowout, but I mean, yeah, I did have the Eagles winning.
Packers go to the Falcons. There's some question marks for the game. Aaron Jones might not play. Christian Watson might not play. He did practice today for the first time since the season started. Quay Walker is out with a concussion after he picked off Justin Fields last week. He gets hammered in the end zone, helmet to helmet. No call, of course. I got the Packers winning this one. I just don't. The Falcons are actually favored by 1 at home. I just don't see who they have to beat the Packers. I think the Packers defense gets to Ritter. I think I got the Packers winning this one on the road, and Jordan Love starts his Green Bay career 2-0.
The Atlanta Falcons were impressive last week.
They played the Panthers, though.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you gotta take it with a grain of salt.
I do, and even though Ritter won, he didn't have his stats for only. I think he only threw for 190 yards or 180 something yards. Bijan Robinson did okay, but he didn't light the
They didn't start him, did they?
I think so. I don't think. I think
someone told me they didn't start him. I think
him and what's that guy? Algalator, Tyler Algalator or whatever are splitting carries. But they're probably splitting them pretty evenly. So even if he's not the technical starter, he's still got plenty of looks. I still think Green Bay is just. I can't go with a rookie. Well, I'm a rookie quarterback. They're both rookies, but
Love's got little more experience.
Yeah, I just side with the Packers. Just even though it's on the road, I think the Packers win.
You got Ravens traveling to the Bengals. Ravens won last week as they played Houston. Bengals choked it up pretty big time. This is in Cincinnati. I think the Bengals bounce back, get a big divisional win. Hopefully Burrow's leg is better because the Ravens defense is good. Lamar Jackson looked like crap last week. Give me the Bengals at home against the division rival.
I'm gonna go a different way here.
Going with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I'm not impressed, and of course they lose their running back with a blown. Speaking of Achilles tendon, he blows his Achilles tendon on the first play of the game or
Who?
first drive.
Oh, Dobbs.
Dobbs,
Dobbins or whatever his
yeah,
face is.
and J.K. Dobbins. So, but the Ravens defense until that Bengals offensive line and until the Bengals offensive line can show me something, then I'm gonna go with the Ravens.
All right. Raiders travel to Buffalo. Buffalo lost to the Jets with no Aaron Rodgers last week. We could have picked them for the worst loss of the week as well. Josh Allen throws 3 interceptions. I think they bounced back this week and beat the Raiders at home to bounce back this week. I got the Bills. Who do you got winning this game?
I want to. I can't go against Josh Allen 2 weeks in a row. I need him to play better football, though. Yeah, give me the Bills.
I got a question for you too. Is it time we jump off the Josh Allen?
Yeah, I was just about to say
train?
the same thing.
He is.
I anointed him right behind Mahomes, and we were on the Josh Allen revenge tour last year, and I don't know if it's still the UCL injury. I don't know if
It's bad decisions.
Yeah,
He overthrew a guy last week by 10 yards to a pick. I mean, what are we?
And it's really funny. I guess it's just not like a national team or a national deal, but just nobody talks about it. Like he's had a couple really bad games,
Yeah.
and
It's costing him. I mean,
it's
they
cost him.
lost this game
I mean,
because of those 3 interceptions.
100%, it was on him. He turned the ball over. He looked horrible. Now, I wonder if it's because none of these guys played the preseason. I don't know what it is, but I hope he looks better this week. But yes, you're 100% right that it's time to
Yeah.
not some of these guys, Tua and Herbert and those guys need to be put above the weight because they're playing better.
Yeah, and you look at
it's really time to blow that team up. It's really Bills, I believe the coach will be fired and there'll be some big changes in Buffalo.
I said earlier if they don't get to the next level this year, it's kind of time. And it's weird because Josh Allen, when he came in this league, he had no touch to the ball. He overthrew people
just
left and right.
Everything.
And we've seen him progress each year, but he's gotten to a certain point. It's kind of like he's regressed back into making bad decisions and just not taking care of the football. To where his wide receivers on the sideline saying, "Use your head, like come on, get your head in the game."
Yeah, and I think that's the thing with Diggs. Him and Diggs, like I don't think he likes Diggs confronting him, because Allen's kind of the alpha male type deal, But yeah, that team has some huge question marks, and this will be a big game for them.
Yep, I agree.
They start 0-2 in that division, they're in trouble.
They are in trouble. All right, we go on to Seattle visiting Detroit. Seattle looked like crap last week as the Rams ran over them 30 points in Seattle. That was a shocker. I got the Lions starting off 2-0. I think they're going to start off 2-0, and Seattle will drop down to 0-2. And Geno Smith is who he is who we thought he was. But Dan Campbell's got this team playing well. And if you remember last year, the Lions had some really weird wins or really weird losses on their ledger. They lost a record. They lost like 7 or 8 games were
one score.
Like 6 of those games of the losses were one score, just like Minnesota won like 10 game or 9 games that were one score. And the odds say that's not going to happen again. But
Yeah,
I think Lions.
the odds say you can almost give them 3 or 4 more wins this year, and
Yeah,
that would be like 12 or 13, and that's I think that's kinda the direction they're headed.
12-5, 11-6 type of thing.
Yeah, because if you look at their schedule for the after the Kansas City game, if you look at their schedule, they got Seattle, they got the Bears, they got the Vikings. Like they could very easily start 4-5-0. Um, so
How's it going, Kat? Good to see you. Good to see you on listening. Rough week for your team this week, but or for week one. I think you bounced back this week against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's go ahead and talk about that since we know you're listening. You got Chiefs. They traveled to Jacksonville. Do we know if Travis Kelsey's playing? That's kind of the
he is
biggest question mark.
Kelsey and Chris Jones are
Chris
both playing.
Jones are both playing. Um, I so wanted Trevor Lawrence to come out and dominate this week and open up the season with a dominating performance, right? And he didn't. They won the game. They played a rookie who's not all that great, and they won on the road, but it wasn't nothing special from Trevor Lawrence. I want to pick the Jacksonville Jaguars here, but I just can't. You're gonna have Travis Kelsey back. You're gonna have your big dog in the middle there getting after Lawrence. They'd have to slow down. They're gonna have to slow down. What's his face? He's Calvin Ridley who went off last week. But give me the Chiefs on the road to get the first victory of the season.
Yeah, I think maybe if they beat the Lions, maybe they don't come out, but I think Kansas City comes out and tries to really um, make a statement here and put things together and especially offensively and really tries to lock a game down. I've never been a huge Trevor Lawrence fan. You know that of all people.
We've noted that here on the
Um,
podcast.
yeah, I think Kansas City probably gets the win here.
Next game is not all that interesting because both teams aren't very good. But one rookie quarterback will pick up their first win as it's CJ Stroud versus um, Anthony Richardson. That is his last name, Richardson.
Yes, and do we know if he's I
I
haven't
think
looked at
he's
injury
playing.
report because he got hurt at the end of that
Yeah, he did.
game, and so that would be my only question mark.
I think he's playing. I think that was just a little rough up end of the game. They put Garner Minshew in. I got Houston win this one. I thought Stroud looked pretty good last week. Um,
Richardson didn't look bad. He had some good numbers. They just can't stop anybody defensively.
yeah, and the defense for Houston, I mean they play Lamar, but they did a good job last week, and it was a closer game than what the score said it was. I thought Stroud makes some good decisions with the football. My problem with Richardson is he doesn't know when to not take hits.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
I'm gonna run you over. I'm gonna run you over. Next thing you know,
Yeah,
we're looking at.
that's the college.
Mhm.
I'm the bigger, better, stronger athlete, and this level you are not, sir.
It doesn't work out. I got the Texans winning this one at home.
Yeah, give me the Texans. I don't I really that's a kind of a coin flip pick 'em game.
It is, and it's on mine. It's a one. I got a
Yeah,
one on there as a
yeah.
1 pointer. Bears travel to the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers win last week against Minnesota, and the Bears get stomped by the Green Bay Packers last week as Justin Fields didn't look very good. Um, I got the Bucks. I got the Bucks winning at home. I think the Bears struggle to throw the ball because Justin Fields is not that good of a quarterback. His defense is pretty decent for the Buccaneers, and Baker Mayfield brought it last week. I mean, his numbers weren't all that great, but one thing I've always loved about Baker is he gives it his all on the field. I think Buccaneers start off season 2-0.
Yeah, give me my guy Baker. I think he did some good things last thing, and I think he won the huddle by putting his shoulder down and getting a couple tough first downs with his legs at the end of the game there,
talking trash to
yeah,
people.
and doing
That's
what Baker
great.
does.
Doing what Bigger does.
Yeah, and I think the Buccaneers do start 2-0.
Chargers travel to the Tennessee Titans, and Chargers will start off getting their first win of the season. They'll start off 1-1. Talk about starting needing to blow up a team. The Titans are a team you need to blow up. I think Vrabel's on his way out after this year. I like him as a head coach. He just can't get the job done there. Derrick Henry's a one trick pony for them. If you can shut him down, the Titans are pretty much done. If you're going to force Tannehill to throw the football, he does have Hopkins there, which I don't know why Hopkins decided to go to Tennessee. That's beside the point. Give me the Chargers to win this game.
Yeah, 100%. They look really good this week, and I think they're a much better football team than the Tennessee Titans.
This next one's a coin flip too. Is the Giants got ran over last week. The Cardinals just tried to win, even though their management was screaming, "No, please, God, no, don't win this football game."
Well, that is a perfect scenario for the Arizona Cardinals. You look good, and you still get to lose.
Yeah,
You
looked
know
like you had some
that's
fight in you.
that's a perfect world. So they can't say, "Well, we're not tanking."
Yeah,
we tried.
we tried.
Uh,
We just fell a little short.
yeah.
I got the Giants in this one. I don't feel too comfortable about that, but I think on roster they're the better paper. They have the better team on paper, and I like their head coach better than the Cardinals.
Boy, they look terrible week one though.
They did. Who you got?
Give me Arizona.
Arizona. All right. Arizona. Is there a reason? Just because the Giants are that bad, or
Yeah, they just look really, really bad, and maybe it's the rain, maybe it was nobody playing in preseason, but Arizona looked like they were just much more organized and played a better game
yeah.
than the Giants did.
Like I said, I think
The
Giants will
The
bounce
Giants
back.
didn't have any, like you talk about all three phases of the football game, like none of them look good.
Yeah.
The offense, the defense, the special teams, they failed at all of them.
Agreed. 49ers go to LA to face the Rams. Give me 49ers all day, all night.
All day.
They look like the best team in football last week. So Jets travel to Cowboys. I was hoping to see Aaron Rodgers, see if he can keep that undefeated streak alive in the stadium. I got the Jets winning this game.
Thanks for that free pick.
I'm just kidding. I got the Cowboys. I think it's a closer game than most people think. The Jets defense.
Well, no,
really
the Jets came in. The Jets came in with, I don't think it was Zach Wilson, but they came in with some guy that's not named Aaron Rodgers and beat Dallas just a couple years ago when Dallas had a 12-win season. So let's not. Robbie Anderson went for 1,000 yards and they threw the ball all over the field and it was not good. So that Jets defense is still very good. And can make a bunch of plays.
One of the best in the league.
There's a guy last week who had a bonus if he got 3 interceptions in the season, and he got them all 3 in week 1 and got $250,000 in week 1. So,
Brees Hall run. He can run, man.
Don't sleep on that team. And here you are, Zach Wilson, trying to prove that you're not.
Now Zach Wilson's going to get killed back there.
That this isn't too big a step for you. We'll see if the Dallas defense. This will be a very low scoring game, I think. So
it will be. I think the only way the Jets win this game is if the Cowboys come in overlooking them and Dak throws too many interceptions.
That's what I'm saying.
Keeps them in.
I mean, I can show you a path it's a lot closer.
But Zach Wilson's not a good quarterback, and the Cowboys are going to eat him alive. The Commanders traveled to Denver. I think Denver gets their first win of the season. Finally, the Commanders didn't look too good last week playing the Cardinals. They did get the win. I was not impressed with their quarterback. The Broncos lost by 1 last week because they can't kick an extra point field goal, and but I think they get their first win of the season for Sean Payton.
I agree. They should have won last week, but my guy Jimmy G just knows how to win football games some way, somehow. Um, all he does is win.
Ugh,
Uh, it's
such a
the
horrible
new
take.
Raiders theme song.
All I
Uh,
do is win,
yeah,
win,
yeah, that's all
win.
he does. He
Gosh.
doesn't know how. He doesn't look good doing it, but just all he does is win. Um,
Yeah, he definitely doesn't look good doing it.
no, it wasn't great. I was looking real bad for about 3.5 quarters, and then Jimmy's like, "I got you, brother," and throws a key touchdown, and they win the game. But yeah, Denver beats Washington. Chase Young is going to play. He's medically cleared, so
Oh,
he's
that's good.
going to play. So that'll help a little bit.
He's a
But
beast, but he's not healthy half the time. That's the
no,
problem.
yeah. I wouldn't sign him to any kind of money.
Yeah. Dolphins, I think, continue their streak. They go 2-0 as they go to the Patriots in Foxborough. Now, when these two teams get together, and usually
Some
Tom
weird
Brady
things
was
happen.
weird things happen. Tom Brady usually was the quarterback, and somehow Miami would win, or they did the last minute little pitch back here, pitch back there. Next
Yeah,
thing you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
they're running
yeah.
down the sideline. So I still think Dolphins are too strong and then take care of
They looked
business
really
on the
good
road.
last week. And New England showed they looked bad for a half or 3 quarters, and then tried to show some fight against the Eagles. But I think Miami's too strong.
Saints traveled to Carolina. The Saints looked bad last week. Well, they won what 9
That's
six or whatever
that's
the
that's
score of that
another
game was.
that's another one of those Derek Carr somehow doesn't look great, but somehow comes out and wins. I think it was 17. I don't know,
17, 16.
17, 16, something like that.
Just terrible last week. Just it was bad. Um, I got the Saints in this one. I don't feel too comfortable with it, but I think they're the better
Yeah,
overall team.
yeah. Overall,
Defense is going to give the rookie a hard time. Monday Night Football. That's a Monday Night Football game too. We got two Monday Night Football games this week, and the other one is Browns and
it's weird.
Steelers.
It's
Which
weird they waited to week 2 to do that. That's normally
um,
week 1.
is it week one? I thought they
Normally,
always started
no,
later.
no, yeah. Normally they have two Monday nights. And normally San Diego or somebody out there on the West Coast is always so they can put it at 9 o'clock.
Browns travel to the Steelers. Steelers got the brakes beat off them last week. The Browns beat the brakes off the Bengals last week. This is going to be an interesting game. A coin flip in the air. Don't know which one to pick. Um, Steelers got a good defense. Pickett was running for his life last week. Oh man, you pick this one first. I've picked all the other
Give me
ones
the
first.
Browns.
Give you the Browns on the road against Mike Tomlin. Oh man, that's tough. Deshaun Watson's not going to play good. I'll go with the Browns as well. We might end up eating our words on that one. Um, all right, well, there's your picks for week 2. Let us know, guys, what you think. If you agree with me or Craig. We basically got 2 different picks, so it's going to come down to Arizona and the Ravens game. Who wins this week in the picks? Let's update you on the college football. 29-16, Florida beating Tennessee. Where's Michigan at? See what they're doing.
They should be up big by now.
Michigan up 24-6 over Bowling Green.
There you go.
BYU losing Arkansas 31-21. Texas halftime is only up by
10-7.
3. That is not good.
Wow.
Not good. TCU 20-13 at halftime over Houston.
Might have
Yeah.
to turn that. Might have to turn that game on.
Yeah, that's not a good sign. This is the letdown we were just talking about earlier. And Wyoming, who did Wyoming beat last? Didn't they upset someone last week?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to go back and look.
They beat someone last week. And then everyone waiting for Colorado to murder Colorado State
Yeah, at
on
9
live
o'clock.
TV.
Yeah.
I think that's going to wrap it up for football. Unless you have any more questions, we talked about Aaron Rodgers. We talked about jumping off the bandwagon over there in Buffalo. Let's ask that famous question, Craig. What is in your locker for the rest of our short weekend?
Just going over to my mom and dad's tomorrow. My dad and my brother are big Lions fans, so we're gonna go catch that game early over there, and then come back and watch the Cowboys game at the house, and get ready for hopefully a better week at the office. To where not as long, but so yeah, that's about it. Just gonna watch football all day tomorrow and hang out and relax. Not set an alarm for the first time in 12 days. And try to catch up on some rest. That's about it, though. What about you, Brian? How about you?
Well, tomorrow my Packer game is on Fox 4, so I can stay home and watch it on the big screen TV. I'm gonna cook some um, queso chili sauce. Just relax. I think after the week we've had at work, we definitely need it. It's been a long one. It's gonna be a long one next week. Hopefully not as bad. And just watch football tomorrow, and um, that's pretty much it. I didn't do much today. We were both work today, and we put in some long hours. I wanted to come home and go take a nap, but didn't get to do that. So I'm gonna try and stay up tonight because it's the only night of the week I'll be able to stay up. And my bad. That's pretty much it. And watch some football, and hopefully watch Love win, and then watch hopefully the Cowboys lose tomorrow. But near there. Um, I'll take the loss in points if the Cowboys lose. No, I just got to give you heck. How are your Oh, well, you're from Michigan, right? So that makes sense for your.
I was born there. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Makes sense for your family to be Lions because I was like, oh gosh,
Yeah. Yeah. They just
that's
randomly picked. Yeah.
yeah. We're gonna pick the Lions
Yeah.
and be miserable the whole life except this season.
So
Um. All right, guys. Well, y'all get ready to go watch that Colorado game. Get ready to watch Deion Sanders and um and this is gonna be it's just gonna be a curb stomping.
yeah.
And enjoy your weekend. God bless, and remember,
Keep it outspoken.